Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. As you gathered from the title, I'm going to be talking about costs of development, costs of readings, that type of thing. And the main reason I decided to do that was my lovely students who have been working with me and some correspondence I've had from other people interested in mediumship outside of YouTube. I've had some crazy figures thrown in my direction with what they've been asked to pay for courses, for readings and such forth, and I'm gobsmacked, to be quite honest. I just cannot believe that anybody could ask that sort of money to try and help someone out. Now, I'll be the first to admit I charge for readings. Obviously I have travel costs, I have to run the car, I have to get there and what have you. Same with the courses that I do. I have hosting for the videos, I have my fees on Patreon to pay. So, all in all, you don't make a lot of money out of it at all, which is fine. I love doing what I do, and that's the reason I do it. It's that passion I have, and it's that passion for changing things in line with how mediumship is being portrayed, how it's being taught, and the understanding of it. And like I've said in the past, I'll lose friends and etc. I know that, but I think the time has come where we get rid of all this commercial rubbish that floats around mediumship, and in my opinion, really does spoil it. At the end of the day, this is a natural thing within us all, and it shouldn't be made, I don't believe it should be made fun of. It shouldn't be glamoured up. It's not glamorous whatsoever. Like I said, it's natural. It's in us all. And anyway, back to the subject of the costs and the charges. Now, I'm going to give you some figures, and you've probably, some of you, especially you in America, understand, it can be quite extortionate out there. And to be told, for reading $500 or $600 for 1 hour's reading, one gentleman mentioned to me, I thought was absolutely, I mean, how on earth can you warrant that for such this natural ability, like I said, that we all have? It's it's absolutely astounding. The training side of things, those that are doing advertising courses, again, extortionate amounts of money, absolutely extortionate amounts of money. And obviously I'm not mentioning names, but to be told by a medium who's training you that if you don't get anything, then make it up, and if that doesn't work, make something else up, and then it will eventually fit, is well, what can I say, really? I am just gobsmacked. I think if I had been present at that, then I would have had something to say. That's for sure. How on earth can you say that to a developing medium? I just don't understand that at all. Make it up. Right. So, anyway, I'm just glad I don't know that person, that medium. So like I said, I would have had something to say, definitely. Should have been just banned or stopped from doing what they're doing. If ever, in your development you come across that, or an extortionate fee for something, just simply walk away. You are better off working with somebody who's got good reputation. It may be a word of mouth, and they, a lot of mediums do charge. We all have a living to make. I work full time outside of my mediumship. I work long hours. I've got a stressful job, but I fit this in because of the passion I have for it, and I enjoy it. It's not about the money, definitely not. I would be in a state if I relied on the money of what I make on mediumship. I would be in a mess. But and what I do make, I'd like to maybe put back into what I do. Obviously, I sit here at home, I'm on my phone doing these videos. I need to get myself some decent camera, and actually the camera on my laptop, I think, was probably the next model to the Box Brownie camera. I think it is terrible, absolutely terrible. A decent laptop, but the camera itself is absolutely terrible, and you probably wouldn't hear me either because the microphone's not working that well either. So I sit here on my phone, I'm happy to do that, and at the end of the day, when the time comes, if it comes, I'll change the equipment I've got. As simple as that. If it don't happen, it don't happen. I'll carry on like this, not a problem. The most important thing is I can make a video and you can hear me, so that's good. So if you do your own readings in the future or whatever, then it's important that you weigh up what you want to charge. Not all mediums charge. I totally respect that. Not all mediums do charge. I do believe in an exchange of energy. Okay, so for the reading, for the effort that someone like myself puts in, you travel, you get there, you do that, and you get an exchange of energy when they give you some money for doing the reading. There's that exchange, there's that balance in my mind. Now, some people might disagree with that, and I know I can hear it now. Oh, it's a gift, it should be free, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, petrol, in America it would be gasoline, I guess, is not free, and nor is running a car. You've got your insurances, you've got tyres, you've got, there's a lot of things that you need to be able to do the job that you do. And obviously, if you're at home and you have people come around and you do your readings from home, then there's nothing but your time, which is a different thing altogether. Personally, I don't do readings at home. I will travel and do the readings. I'd much rather do that. And it's a lot better really to keep work and home separate, I think. So you've got that haven where you can go and sit in that peace, and it's unfair for everybody else as well. They don't sit there quiet because you're doing a reading in the back room somewhere. It's important, I think, that you do travel around and do it rather than just do it at home. But obviously, if you live alone, then and you've got the space to do it, that's absolutely great. Please don't get caught up in these ridiculous prices. And may well come across a medium watching this video who's charging something absolutely extortionate, then it's simply shame on you. It's sad, you can't warrant that sort of money, no way, shape or form. And we are dealing mainly with people who are in grief. They're grieving loved ones, they're hoping for this message to come through. And unfortunately, at that point in time in their lives, they can be very vulnerable people. Totally understand that. So we need to respect the fact that they are vulnerable and treat them, like I said, with respect. Okay? In a caring way, in a gentle way. Don't go charging $600 or whatever for a reading. I mean, that's just disgusting. How you live with yourselves, I'll never know. And, we have places that do training in the UK, with courses around £500 or £600. What a massive amount of money that is, especially in this day and age. And, you may well get a certificate at the end of it. It doesn't mean you are a better medium because you have a certificate. Okay, I understand the reasoning behind, obviously, keeping an eye who carries out these readings, keep an eye out on those who do the training, keeping an eye out on those who say they have the gift of mediumship. It needs to be monitored in some way, shape or form. And I'm just hoping and praying by something like maybe this video, please, if you're looking for someone, then please, shop around, talk to friends who've maybe had readings, ask them about the mediums that they've met, the quality of the reading and things like that. Just don't jump straight in at the first medium you find in the newspaper or what have you. Do your homework. I should probably get a bit of hate mail for this, but there you are. Never mind, it's all part and parcel of it all. So Yeah, if you're going into your mediumship, like I've said in the past, look at your reasoning behind that. You know, if it's to become famous and have your name up in lights, then you need to walk in another direction, really. The whole point of working with this element of self is to light that spark, to make this world that better place, and to basically give closure to someone who has lost somebody very close to them. We give that evidence for that reason. So I've said in the past, like, mediumship itself is a very, very small speck of the whole story. We are part of this massive story, this story of life, if you like. We are just a very small part of that. And there are many other things that go along with it. So, you know, we do not do it, well, personally, we don't do it for glory. Okay, I think the first time I really realised why I do what I do is when you see that smile on somebody's face, when you give that piece of evidence. When you've got that sitter in front of you, you just feel that relief when you give that spot-on piece of evidence. You see it in their faces, and it can change somebody's life. Now, if you have that ability to change someone's life through a simple piece of information that you've given them, then there's no value on that money-wise. Okay, in a way, it's kind of like payment in itself. You know, it's a wonderful thing to experience, to see their faces change instantly. So it's important we get that right. Now, really, I guess that's all I have to say on that. I just wish sometimes that you could take the glamour away, but I don't think that will happen. I think TV has a lot to do with that, and especially with, you know, like I've said, I think on a video, a couple of videos back, about like paranormal investigations. Okay, I mean, that's become huge now. You know, the TV, you know, it's on TV most evenings, and there's channels that are virtually dedicated to it. So that has become massive. Again, it's something you need to be careful with. Like I said, I've worked for paranormal groups, and there's, you know, some excellent paranormal groups out there. There really is. And, you know, they make nothing up whatsoever. And you can always tell that by the amount of time they spend before the investigation starts on walking the building and doing their baseline testing. Because they'll look for everything that creaks, everything, you know, if there's a window open, if there's air conditioning somewhere. They'll do baseline tests with the monitors. You know, they'll go around with the EMF meters just to make sure that there's nothing within that building that interferes with them. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make with an EMF meter is simply having your mobile phone in your pocket turned on, because that will trigger it straight away. You know, that you'll have lights flashing all over the place. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're invented, or you got the handheld ones, because they, you know, they pick up signal from things like mobile phones and what have you and go off. So there's a reason behind that. I'm not a scientist, I've got no understanding of it whatsoever, but I know for a fact a mobile phone will soon trigger it. It's the same with electrical current. So if you put your EMF meter to the light switch in your room or to the plug socket, it will trigger it. You know, and a good paranormal investigation group will do their baseline testing. They will test every room in that building. They'll make notes of anything, like I said, if there's drafts, aircon, anything like that, they'll write down, they'll make a note of it. You know you've got a good group then, and I always keep an eye out for that and see how they do their testing. So, yeah, so, you know, we even have to be a bit wary of some of the paranormal investigation groups as well. And some of the good ones, like I said, do great baseline testing. It's a bit like any other trade, really, I guess. You know, it's a bit harsh to call mediumship a trade, but you know, you can get bad plumbers, you can get bad electricians, you name it. You know, there's always going to be a bad one out there, that's for sure. And there's something I wrote a while ago now, about, you know, there is a difference between a fake medium and a bad medium. You know, and obviously a fake medium knows they are fake. They know they are cold reading. They know what they're doing. Now, a bad medium can sometimes just hasn't got that grasp of that energy, and it's a pity. So instead of us sort of shaking our heads thinking, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, maybe we can offer some guidance, maybe give them some support. We should help, you know, and I think the saying was, we should help the deluded. In other words, those who think they've got that gift to that extent that they can sit with people and give readings, and they're slightly delusional in that aspect of it. And, you know, some of the skeptics say we're all delusional, but that's another story. But sometimes these delusioned mediums can be helped, guided into the right direction, and can work with that mediumship gift that they have, and they can work with it and get to a better point with it. So we shouldn't all just turn away and just disregard them. They can be helped. But like I said, the real fake mediums know, without a doubt. And you can tell a fake medium a million miles away. You know, you can sit down in a hall on your chair, and I will tell you whether they're working with spirit or they're probably within, I don't know, a couple of minutes. It's quite simple to spot. And it's not only the way they deliver the messages or what the questions are that they ask. And I think a lot of mediums on here listening to this will agree with this. You just know by looking at how they're working, you can tell if they have a link. And that's what it's all about, the link. You can tell if that link is there or not, you know, within a couple of minutes. So it's important we get this right. Now, I'm not here to, you know, be totally negative about this at all. I just want this to be right. It's a passion of mine. And, you know, if there's, you know, if for 1 minute you feel that you have not quite got to that point where you can give a reading, please don't be bullied into doing it. It's not always you, okay? It can be people saying, oh, you know, give us a reading, give us a reading. If you don't feel confident enough to do it, just be polite and say, look, I'm developing. I'm not at that point yet. But obviously later, further down the line, then yes, by all means, I'll sit with you and I'll do a reading with you. It's as simple as that. You know, we don't have to pretend that we can do it at all. And that's what I love about my students. That's what I love about them, because they are dedicated to improving that ability they have. Many of them have a range of different abilities within mediumship, within light work. Some are very, you know, have really strong premonitions. Some have very strong clairvoyant skills where they can see spirit quite clearly in many cases, but they can't open that line of communication. Now that does take some work and dedication to do that. Okay, you know, and it's possible. Many times they are communicating. It's just pinpointing where that communication is coming in. Okay, you know, and it's a number of times they will say, if I ask the question, well, what did you think? What was going through your mind when you had that vision? And they will answer that. And I say, well, there's your communication. That what was going through your mind, that particular a statement that went through your mind, a feeling that went through your body, that feeling, there is your starting point of communication. They are telling you something. So anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. Be careful out there, please. You know, if you're looking for someone to do a reading, and especially in America for some reason, and no doubt, I'm not saying it's all America. because no doubt, like I said, I've not done homework on what other mediums charge and what the training courses are. I do know of one or two, but not many. So I'm pretty sure it's just as bad here as well in the UK. I'm pretty sure it is, and probably throughout the world, I guess. You know, so yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to my videos. Share if you can as well. Pop over to Patreon if you're interested in one-to-one training, like a development. And I love doing that as well. So yeah, that's it. That's it for tonight. So take care. Have a lovely evening, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care for now. Bye-bye.